Hello and welcome to Stan's 360 World. I'm your host, Stan Horyza, and if this is your first time viewing one of my 360-degree videos, there's a lot to see. If you're on your computer, you can click on the video and drag the camera angle around so you can look at whatever you want to see. If you're on your cell phone, you can either use your finger to do the same thing, or you might be able to move your phone around and look around. You can also view this with an Oculus Rift or Google Cardboard. So today we're going to be going across the Golden Gate Bridge. The bridge actually opened in 1937. It was originally proposed all the way back in 1872, but nobody took that proposal seriously. It wasn't until 1919 that an actual proposal went forth that people took seriously. And it wasn't until 1933 that construction began on January 5th. Construction completed April 19th, 1937, but it opened to the public for traffic on May 27th, 1937. And before it opened, the day before it opened on the 26th, they had an event and 200,000 people crossed the bridge on foot. Uh, in comparison, on the 50th anniversary in 1987, there was actually mass confusion. There were somewhere between 750,000 and 1 million people showed up, and the estimate is that 300,000 people were actually on the bridge at one time. There were so many people on the bridge that the bridge normally has an arc to it if you view it from the side, but on that day, May 5th or May 27th, 1987, the bridge flattened out, which is what it's designed to do, so it's okay. But there were a lot of people that crossed the bridges on foot the day before it opened and on its 50th anniversary. The bridge itself is 6 lanes that go across. The lanes are divided and depending on the time of day and traffic. Originally, it was just flow of traffic, and then in the 1960s, 1968, there were small cones that they would move to divide the north and southbound traffic. But the problem is people would swerve, and they were plastic cones, so there were some head-on collisions. And so finally, on January 11th, 2015, a medium barrier, kind of like a zipper, is now installed on the bridge, and you can actually see that on my left as we're driving here. Um, that saves a lot of problems, and they do change it a few times a day depending on traffic needs. Now, I'm going to turn around and have the video go in the other direction. We were headed northbound there, and now we're going to turn and head southbound. And so the color of the bridge is international orange. The reason for that color is it was painted an orange to preserve the steel as they were shipping it because the steel was sitting there in this very wet environment. And they had quite a few different proposals on different colors, but they continued to build it with this orange, and it stood out so nice against the surrounding greens and browns and blues that they decided to keep the color. To build the bridge, it had to actually get the approval of the War Department because the military actually owns the land on both sides. And on the south side of the bridge, there's actually a bridge within a bridge. There's a small bridge that you cross that goes over the top of a World War I and Civil War installation. I actually will have another video about going through Fort Point, but there's a small bridge, portion of the bridge, that goes over that, and then you go on to the suspension bridge. So once they got that approval, then they continued on with the bridge. In the construction of the bridge, 12 people actually died, 12 men died. 10 of them died in a single incident just before the completion, and where a rolling platform that they were on dropped. There were 12 men on that platform. 2 of the men survived, but 10 did pass away. 11 people did die from falls, and a total of 12 did die. Now, however, even with that, this was one of the safest construction zones up until that point. This was the first construction place to use hard hats. There was a netting that they installed underneath the bridge, so if people fell, you would fall onto that netting. And the two men that survived actually did get caught in that netting, and they survived because they hit that netting. And they were added to something known as the Halfway to Hell Club. And the Halfway to Hell Club has 19 members that survived the drop into that netting. Now, we're going to be approaching the toll plaza here shortly, and if you do come out to the bridge, you'll notice that I won't stop to actually pay a toll. I drive right through, and they take a picture of my license plate, and they sent me a bill for the toll. Now, in my case, the toll was $8. You can also get a fast track pass. It's a little device that puts in your windshield. That makes it $7, and if you're a carpool, it's only $5 to go across, but you have to have that that fast track to get the pass. Now, and here we're coming up to the toll plaza. The Golden Gate Bridge, sadly, is one of the largest suicide locations in the world, actually. And there has been some discussion on putting some barriers or something to prevent suicides, but it would change the look of the bridge. And so nothing has really gotten much popularity in way of building a suicide prevention. There are quite a few signs and things there to encourage people to reach out for help. But for those that do jump, it's a 4-second fall, and they tend to hit the water at about 75 miles an hour. It's about a 220-foot drop to the water there, and those that survive, only about 5% actually would survive. They end up then drowning or dying of hypothermia. So sadly, it happens a lot. We're starting to come up here to Doyle Drive, and there's been some tunnels that have been put in here to aid in the flow of the Doyle Drive on-ramp and off-ramp to the bridge. And these are very new. This new passageway here just opened in 2015. And so this is very new as we drive through. Some other fun facts: the 1 billionth driver to cross the bridge happened on February 22nd, 1985. The bridge itself is 1.7 miles long, which is 8,981 feet. It's 90 feet wide. Tallest point is 746 feet. I told you that it's 220 feet to the water there. And so that's the Golden Gate Bridge in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed the trip across. As we're pulling up here to the end of the video, you'll actually see straight ahead the Palace of Fine Arts, which is another video that I will be recording in the future. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions or thoughts on places for me to go ahead and leave them in the comments, and keep exploring your world. This is Stan. Have a great day.